Welcome to the Distinguished Twins podcast. I'm Kane.
I'm Professor Anderson.
And as you can see, we have a guest today, Miss Rebecca Bond.
Hello.
We brought Rebecca on to speak about a very popular, unfortunately popular topic right now, and about business as well. So we're going to just get into some questions with Rebecca here. Just kind of let her tell us a little bit about herself. First of all, Rebecca, where are you from?
Originally from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. All right. And so, as you all know, we are all here in Arizona. We're all imports from what we see. And how long have you been here?
Since 2002.
2002. We've been here since 2004. And so now we finally get a chance to connect after all these years. And I want to thank you, first of all, for coming on and accepting our invitation. I know we had a conversation on Facebook.
Yes.
When we were speaking about the topic, and you had some information that you wanted to share, and I found it very interesting. And like I said, I appreciate you accepting our invitation.
Exactly.
I know from what I saw originally on Facebook, you have a band.
Yes.
Yes. And what kind of band is this?
Man, we do old school, new school, hip hop, rap.
Wow.
Yeah. Spit a few bars. No, I'm
Right?
kidding. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Taking a small break from it though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been doing that in the Valley since 2004.
Oh, four.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's the name of this band?
The TNT band.
Hey.
Yeah, it's Dynamite Baby.
Okay.
So is TNT an acronym or
Yeah,
just?
little TNT,
Dynamite.
Dynamite, the
Well, I'm
Wile E.
saying,
Coyote.
I mean, for your group.
Why
Like, do you have a specific,
You know what?
meaning to your TNT? That's what I wanted to say. Because you have band members,
Oh, no.
No?
Yeah,
It's
there's no
Dynamite.
R.
Just Dynamite.
It's
Okay.
Dynamite.
I
That's
get it.
Dynamite. I like
Yeah.
that.
And so what made you want to do that?
I've always sung. My family's all into doing something professionally, singing, acting. My one brother's a golfer, professional golfer. Like everyone just really pursued what they wanted. And my sisters both sang, and so I've done that pretty much all my life.
Yeah.
And so moved out here. I did a Arizona Idol and won it, and then I went on to Arizona or American Idol and was a top 24.
Really?
And then I was like, man, this is cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I came back and started my own band.
Wow.
Wow. That's a cool story. Seriously.
I know,
like, to
right?
actually, like we wanted to, our dream was let's play professional football. We actually got a chance to do it. And so for you to actually step out there, and believe in your talent and actually prove your talent, that's really cool. Seriously.
Confidence.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was pretty dope.
And so with your band, like how did you find your band members? Like how did that process develop?
Man, we're still finding band members.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to it's called a Hot Birds Jam. I went to there last night, and man, it's just that's how you start finding them. You just go to these open mics and you go to these jams, and there was like 1,500 square foot home.
Yeah.
And there was probably 300-400 people there.
What?
Yeah, there's no moving.
Right?
They got horns, a whole horn section, and drummers that just jumping on and off, and that's how you just start meeting people. That's how you just you network.
That's awesome.
And now I've had the privilege of having the best musicians in Arizona on stage with me. Well, I got to be on stage with them. That's how I feel because they were amazing.
Wow.
That's crazy because just to, the way you described it, you're in this small house, you have all these people here. You have to have that appreciation for the art itself
Yeah, you have to
be there,
Yeah.
and, not complain and accept it for what it is. Like you're there for that energy.
Yes.
And I've always said, I would trade my physical talents for an artistic talent, something that I could dominate at like I did physically.
Right.
Because I respect it so much. It's art.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, it's like, it's self-soothing, like you sing. And so I'm sure when you're in the car, we all try to sing. And
I mean, I'm pretty good, so.
No, you're not. No, I don't think you have any artistic.
I can sing, okay?
You can dress.
And you helped me in that area, so that's
Okay,
not really me.
all right. So singing, 34 years, I've never known this talent. This
You would try to downplay it, but it's okay. We'll focus on Rebecca.
okay. So have you? I got just one question. Have you tried to do this professionally?
I don't have enough time.
You don't have enough time?
Yeah, I'm too busy, so I figured, it's
All right, so that's enough. And
Yeah.
so
okay.
but
Aw.
yeah, but so you go to these things, and obviously I know you said you find musicians there, and but now I know you said you're on a break with it. And why are you on a break?
I opened a organization called the Boss Baby Nanny Agency.
Oh,
Boss baby.
Thank
I'm
you.
very
nanny
proud.
agency.
I know, right?
All right, and what does this entail?
So I take nannies and I train them and I do their whole background check and all of that.
Yeah.
And I started nannying 23 years ago.
Wow.
So I've been doing that, so I work with the new nannies and train them up and then send them off to be with their families.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Now, I know typically, when you're starting a small business venture, you look at the market and you see a need, like you're solving this problem. Like in your mind, like what prompted you to say, I need to do this?
Actually, it was my mom. Yeah.
Okay.
I was the agent for the band.
Uh-huh.
So I did all the booking for everything and then, that kind of thing. So, and then I was a nanny.
Yeah.
It was just really hard to be a nanny and also try to take care of all the kids, get them to every practice and every game and it was just too difficult to try to do both.
Right.
Childcare in itself is very, very, very expensive.
Yes,
Extremely.
yes,
So when you have like 1,300 of them like me,
Right.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
It becomes a lot.
Right.
So I was talking to my mom and she's just like, well, why don't you just open your own agency? And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
got
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see no problems here.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
And so Boss Baby Nanny Agency was LLC 3 days later
Hey,
Yeah.
Wow.
from my mom saying it.
there you go.
Wow.
And
that was in
obviously,
September.
Awesome initiative.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's obviously something you believe in, right?
Mm.
So with that, like, how would I patronize your business? Like, how would I find you to get a nanny?
So you just fill out all the information online, and I speak with the parent and find out what the parent's needs are.
Right.
Then the parent and I usually get together, sit down. I meet the child, just so I can
Exactly.
fully vet the parents too, because everybody has to feel comfortable working with everybody.
Exactly.
So, and then just speak with. They want me to find them someone, then I
Right.
put that email out to my nannies, and then they bid on it.
That's
And
interesting.
then the parent interviews them,
Yes,
directly.
Exactly.
and then
Right.
I just get a finder's fee. So it's a referral business.
Oh, so
Okay.
you're like a broker,
Yeah.
almost. I
Right.
gotcha.
I saw. I think it was maybe a couple days ago. I saw LeBron James, and he was just giving a lot of credit to his nanny because his daughter was asleep. I don't know what they were in. I don't know if they were driving, flying. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was something just futuristic looking.
luxurious.
Yeah, right. But she was asleep while she was sitting in her chair, and the nanny, like for over an hour, she leaned over and was holding her head up. So when you
Exactly.
start
Yeah.
dying,
Yeah.
So she over an hour was just holding her head back while she was asleep.
Wow.
And you're talking about just, earning her money.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I'm sure she gets
Oh yeah,
well.
compensated very well.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was pretty awesome to see though. Just now we're talking about nannies. I'm like, that's good stuff, man. And I know Rachel Cargill, she's the nanny, and it really gave her a lot of insight into just power structures and privileges of certain demographics in this country. And so she speaks about that quite often.
Yes.
You know, so I mean, I love Rachel Cargill. She tells it like it is.
I think that being a nanny is it's a huge responsibility.
Oh my gosh.
It's a huge responsibility. We mold their character.
Come on now.
And we have the ability to speak life into them. We have the ability to really change, you know, like you said, a little more special, you know, they get more privileges.
Exactly.
Okay. But what we can do as humble nannies is maybe help them not to be so, not to grow up with an entitlement
There you go.
attitude.
I like this. I like that.
And so there's so many things we can do by we want to take them to this charity. We want to do these different charity drives with your child.
That's awesome.
That kind of stuff, you know.
like that.
It's not just being a nanny. That's what I'm trying to teach my nannies, and so that they can kind of take that on. That's part of the training, is that we're so much more to this child.
There's not a more valuable quote unquote asset to look after.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about lives. And so I mean, I think that it's extremely important. I mean, I'm one of those guys who's an advocate for even say like elementary school teachers. They should honestly, they should be some of the highest paid people.
They really should.
Because you're talking about laying a foundation.
Yeah.
And it's an extremely difficult job. You know, I'm a college professor, but I honestly I would not be hurt or bothered by the fact that an elementary school teacher made just as much, right, as a college professor, because again, you're laying the foundation for many years to come. And so even again, if we go back to nannies, you know, you're with these children trying to shape and mold and lay a foundation for them that they're going to actually work off of probably for the rest of their lives. So it's very important. So I commend that.
No, that's interesting, because I remember, you know, I wasn't a nanny, but I was a personal trainer when I first started training, and you know, when you train the younger kids, especially the ones that are around you for years.
There you go.
You know, I had the pleasure of being around some younger kids and instilling some confidence in them, especially some more privileged kids, and giving them that swag and that, that dog.
Too.
Yeah. You know, to where, you know, you have to work for and earn everything you get.
Absolutely.
And I still have those conversations today with some kids that are, you know, very talented, but they're just like, I should have this, I should have that. I'm like, cut it out.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah. Nobody owes you
Exactly.
nothing.
There you go.
Right?
We can't cuss on this.
Oh, you can say what you want to say.
Yeah, you can say what you want to say. But
we're not regulated by the FCC.
Nobody owes you nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's a fact.
Yeah. And I think it's such an advantage. Just like, you know, these parents, it's something that they really can't give their kids.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is so interesting.
Yeah, because, you know, your background.
Yeah.
You know, we come from those more, you know, humble places, and you know, where you have to learn respect and where you have to work for everything, that type of feel, you know. But that's what makes the world go round, right?
Absolutely.
You know, lots of different people, but, you know, with the whole nanny thing, and like you said, how she was holding the head up, and I think that's so cool.
Right.
Like, some people might look at that like, you know, as extreme or something, but it's such a human thing to do.
Yes, it is, right?
Yeah.
And really a motherly
It is.
thing to
Very
do.
motherly.
Seriously.
Yes.
Yeah, gotta admit.
Because how many times have you seen one of your kids just
Right,
like
oh,
this
yeah.
in its car seat, and you're like, man,
I just look at them like,
that's gonna hurt later.
that's it. I'm not holding the head up. Nah.
You're not doing that.
Nah, I'm not doing it.
But that nanny did.
Right. Oh yeah. She's awesome. She's awesome.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. It's funny because when you said she was holding her head up, I was thinking about this meme that I saw with this. These people were at the airport. It was just a picture, but it was kind of cool because somebody was sleeping on their suitcase that had wheels on it that would roll, but someone was sitting there and you just saw their shoe holding this suitcase in place.
Like chalking it.
Yes. So it wouldn't roll. And I'm
Wow.
like, you know, it was.
That's
It's a
awesome.
human.
There you go.
Thing
Thing
to
to
do,
do, right?
I just wish, you know, we could appreciate the human life much more.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, it's capitalism is a different animal, man. It really doesn't allow for you to enjoy the human life. Everything is competition.
Yep.
Yeah.
And everything has a price.
Yep.
Everything.
Everything.
And unfortunately, if you want to live a better quality of life, you have to kind of join in the game. It sucks. It really does. But at the same time, you can maintain some level of ethics and moral.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, that can be appreciated by most. But
Yes.
in this country, and especially in a Western society, you know, the value of human life since the inception of this country has never been high, right? Even, you know, again, starting off with the Native Americans, then enslaved the Africans and so on and so forth. But, you know, we live in a world where if the money is right, then unfortunately, you know, everything else is coming second, you know.
Yep.
And just look at mass incarceration, you know, and that's what I try to tell people, like, we never got away from slavery in this country.
No.
No.
They just
Right?
slaved us
Yeah.
on paper
There you go.
instead.
And bottom line, I mean, the 13th Amendment literally allows
Slavery.
for slavery.
Yeah.
And it was abolished except if it's used as a form of punishment.
Yeah.
And so what you do is America, the United States has more laws in the books than any country
Ever
in the
in
world.
history
So
of this world.
that's how you ensure that you maintain this edge that you've always had
Yeah.
as an economic powerhouse because of
Free
all
labor.
this free labor.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, it's really sad, but you know, and again, that's why we can't value human life collectively, because again, most people are like, I'm going after mine.
Yep.
You know, like
Yeah.
I'm not worried about so and so and so and so. So,
People
but
are so selfish.
oh my gosh,
Gosh.
So selfish.
I believe
You know-
in the greater good, though. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
It'll prevail.
Yeah.
Eventually.
It will.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, people are selfish. And you know what's funny is, I think about that phrase a lot, and I'm thinking, it's okay to be a little selfish. You
Just
bit.
a little,
know? A little.
but too much of anything.
Too much of anything is always bad,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
But with that being said, while we're speaking about human life, I know Rebecca, our initial conversation was about human trafficking, and Rebecca had some great information that she wanted to share on that topic, and then I'll have a couple questions for you. So as far as the, I know you said there's some type of affiliation with an agency. Can you explain
Yeah.
that?
So the last year, people came from all over, and friends, family, strangers even, and donated things to my family.
Okay.
With I had 3 new children in the home, plus my 4, and people just really, really, really did such an amazing, just out of their hearts, you know, did this. So I knew when I put the agency together, that was my one thing. I wanted to absolutely have a family or something that we did that same thing for them every year, you know,
right.
something.
Yes.
And when I prayed on it, like, who are we supposed to be working with?
Yeah.
God was like, well, call that one girl.
Ah.
I didn't even get a name. Yeah.
Wow.
Call that one girl who
Oh.
you used to do makeup for.
So what made you call her? I know you felt like you got the message, but why would she be a good person, like to know someone?
Well, she had, prior to this, she had helped in with like homeless people
Okay.
and that kind of thing.
Yes. Okay.
But I haven't talked to her in like 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
But so I was like, oh, what was her? Oh, that I know who this is. What is her name?
Yeah.
And I'm scrolling through the whole book,
Yeah.
just,
Right.
you know, and I was like, there she is.
Yeah.
And I gave her a call, and it turns out that she's, you know, she's got a home. She's got like not a home, but like they've got cottages
Yes.
where they can house 34 girls,
Wow.
ages 11 to 17, who have fallen victim to this.
Wow.
And they don't just, you know, okay, here's a place for you to live for a second. I mean, they provide their clothing, and they're, more importantly, they're healing.
Right.
So they've got counselors, and they've got church.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And, they really, speak with these girls. And I think one of the big things that they do as far as their healing is building their confidence back.
Right.
Speaking life into them.
Absolutely. Yes.
And so that they can try to find their worth.
Exactly.
Because it's been taken away from them.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So, once you are in that lifestyle, or that happens to you, you're stolen from your parents. You're
Yes.
and going through whatever it is that they have to deal with. It becomes a way of life now.
Yes.
And now they don't know any different, and they know that they can get money through this.
Yes.
They know that these are, so now they're just stuck there.
Yes.
Yep. So what they do is they help them to rewire
Yep.
their brain and to help them find their worth.
Yes.
Wow.
Again.
And this is human trafficking.
Yeah.
Sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
You said 11 to 17?
11 to 17. Wow. So my daughter is in that age bracket.
That's crazy, man.
So when you start thinking, you start
Likewise.
putting things,
Yeah.
into perspective that way. These people are literally stealing these children out of their parents' arms at Walmart,
Yeah.
in the parking lot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just bold stealing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't such a moneymaker
Oh my God.
to the tune of $150 billion in 1 year, this is affecting 40 million girls nationwide.
Nationwide?
150 billion.
150 billion. So here's the thing, though. What really gets me
Wow.
is, where is that money really coming from?
Yes.
So now when you're trying to fight against this, unfortunately, you find out that it's the elite that are
Yes.
funding it.
Yes.
So it just gets you more and more angry, because it's not the guy on the corner selling the dope.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the kingpin.
Yeah, there we go.
Right?
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's not the one that's kidnapping the kids and
Yes.
snatching the kids up.
Yeah.
That's just the drug dealer,
Bottom line.
getting
Yeah.
paid,
Yes.
Exactly.
but it's coming from
Wow.
the elite who have that kind of money to do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's sad, because I remember I knew a guy, and at one point he was, he had a rough background, and so you could tell he would almost do anything for money. And if people around him accepted him because of his background, he felt like good that they accepted him. And so it got to the point where he got in with these guys, and he would take trips with them out of the country to third world countries. And he was saying how him and these guys, he was an older gentleman at the time, how they would have 14, 15-year-old girls. And, obviously in this country, what is a law,
Exactly, right?
right? And it's like,
Yeah.
he like, well, the parents were okay with it. And I'm just thinking to myself, you live in a country where this is illegal.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that because there's no law, you
Yeah.
feel okay doing this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's sad.
That shows right then and there your character or lack thereof,
Yeah.
that you would even join in and participate. These are children, like you said, they have no self-worth. And we even knew girls when we were in school who were sexually abused,
Yeah.
and maybe by a step parent or something, and you saw that in them. So
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're saying. They just,
Exactly.
it was,
They lose that sense of value,
Yeah.
self-value, because it's like, you're an object.
Yeah.
And you're being used and abused, and you really kind of get to the point to where you feel like no one cares.
yeah,
And it's like, why should you care any longer, right? And so it's extremely, like you said, it's sad. I saw recently, I'm not sure how old the video is, but a guy, a 51-year-old guy, he snatches this 8-year-old girl from her mother while they're walking in a neighborhood somewhere in Texas. And about 8 hours later, the police catch up to him. They find him in a hotel.
Oh man!
And when they pull him out of the room, he's naked. I know that they said get the EMTs up here, and I think there was like blood on the bed. And
yeah, I saw it. I was like,
it's just sad, man. Like these, and you know what's crazy is there was a lot of talk. I haven't heard much about it, but where there were like advocate groups who were trying to have pedophilia like legalized.
yes.
To where these kids, to where it's like, well, no, it's just a mental disorder or something.
Yeah, like I can identify as
an identity.
Gender thing.
Right, yeah. So I can identify as just someone who loves kids.
I'm in my mind, I'm a kid.
Right, exactly. There you go. Bottom line. And so, like that and I think that they were trying to add it to the end of that LGBTQ and put the P on or something like that, but. I think it was heavily rejected by the majority, but
some people that
look at
it. They actually agree to this.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, if you look at the Vatican, pedophilia wasn't considered a sin until the 1970s.
Wow.
And that's still very much a big thing that goes on, especially in the Catholic churches.
Yes.
But it's much more ubiquitous than we know. And it's sad. I just saw articles about a whole ring of people who got caught up, and I know a couple of them were police officers and politicians, teachers. Yes.
There are. It was amazing. There was this might be the same one, but it was a whole crew of them. Like it was a whole ring.
Yeah, I mean,
and
amazing.
I think they ended up saving like 80.
Yeah.
It was like 80, that went through this. Even if it's just one time.
Bottom line.
The effects that has on a child never goes away.
It's trauma.
And that's one thing that the Streetlight says. They say they turn trauma into triumph.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of what they stand for and what they're doing. That I just feel like everybody needs to get behind this kind of thing.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it. Just like Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mama try to tell you stay right here during Christmas.
Right.
And when baby is gone, where's the baby and where's Uncle Joe? Like we want to make sure. I mean, even if it happens one time,
Absolutely.
it's damaging.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what these girls have to go through on a daily basis?
Right.
And for years.
Years.
So we need to. It's got to be talked about.
Yeah.
It's got to be addressed. Somehow it's got to not be okay anymore.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Remember in the movie Split?
Yeah.
The girl when her uncle did you see that movie Split?
Such a good. I love it.
It was a good movie. Like she was, scarred, trauma, and so whenever the beast, whenever he encountered her, and he saw the scars on her body, he was like, okay, so you've been through something. You have substance. You've been traumatized, so you're pure.
Yeah.
So you understand what it's like because he was abused when he was younger. But her uncle, they were going hunting trips, and then he was like naked and acting like an animal or something.
Exactly.
And the thing about it is, you see that Hollywood has a lot of truth in what they
do
in the life.
Yeah.
And so you're looking, and I'm thinking, how do you think of that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a true story somewhere.
Yeah.
Because the truth is stranger than fiction, right?
Come on now.
So,
right. Yes.
like when I saw that, it made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
I was looking at that. I'm like, this dude is her uncle. Like, and something happened to her dad, and so he was left to look after her. And I'm like, like when you talk about the foster care system, we have these kids that are being abused, it's like, and then, you know, I made mention of, you know, patriarchy.
Yes.
You know, men truly believing that they are superior to women, so they feel like this is what the woman is used for. You know,
And again, I always make that point. If you look at much religious doctrine, the woman is relegated to a second tier position. And so a lot of men will try to justify their behaviors because of religion, you know, and say that, well, the man, you know, has dominion, you know, and so on and so forth. And, you know, unfortunately, it's, again, women are, oh my gosh, I mean, they have it much worse. You know, and especially when you speak of male privilege, you got a lot of dudes who get so upset about it.
Seriously.
Right, a lot of males who get upset about it, but we do have a lot of privileges.
Yes, we do.
I mean, and you know what's crazy is, you know, we're speaking about little girls, and I was on social media, and I saw this woman ask a question, and she said, I know we talk a lot about girls being abused, but how many of you men were abused, you know, at a young age, by men and women? And it was amazing. How many men were like, I was 9 and she was 21?
Wow.
I mean, incredible, right?
Yes.
That happened to R. Kelly. Right? He was abused by his sister. And a lot of people don't want to take that into account. Like, he has some issues. But when do we look at the human aspect, and we look at the trauma that he suffered? Now he's hurting other people because he was abused by his sister. And so, right? You know, he perpetuates, you know, some of those same behaviors. So, you know, I always would, you know, I would tell my students, like, if we really cared about the human condition, if we care about our veterans, all of these things in this country, as often as we see a gas station, we should see a mental health clinic. Period. If we really did care. You know, because that trauma is deep. It's
it never goes away.
It never goes away. And to me, it's like,
It can be healed.
It can be healed. But it'll never be the same. It's kind of like when you break a bone or tear a ligament. It'll never be the same. And I always liken it to just that day, like you say, it takes one time. To me, that person died that day. They died and another person was born. And now they have to learn how to move. And, you know, it's like, you know, with, say like a man, when he gets with a woman, he wants her to be his wife, and, you know, he wants to get physical, and she doesn't want to be touched like that or something like that. And she's carrying trauma from years and years ago, and it's like, this is what he has to deal with, and she has to deal with, and it's like, they're not the same. They're not the same. They don't have that same privilege that, you know, some people have to just be so free with their partner and their mate, and they were never abused like that. So again, I feel like that day that person died, another person was born, and I take it very seriously. So especially, you know, having children. You know, so I agree with the patriarchy, though. It's, you know, of course we can say it does happen to men, but on a much grander scale, it doesn't happen to women. Come on now.
Like, and women are more defenseless.
Yes.
You know. You know.
Especially to a man, like I said, you know, his mother's walking with her daughter, and he snatches her. And what does she do, right? She's powerless. But if the father was there, does it happen? You get what I'm saying? So, women are.
That's why I'm getting my strap.
Right. Oh,
You
have to out here.
I mean, that's why I love Arizona. It's
I know, Wild West.
That's. I think it's fair, especially for women in this climate. It's like,
come on now.
You cannot blame the woman. I saw a video where a man ran up and tried to snatch this woman.
Wow.
She shot him dead.
Oh yeah,
She was quick, man. I'm you can see she'd been training.
Oh yeah.
I looked at that shirt, man.
Come on.
Shooting from the hip. I'm like, man, that was. And then I was happy, you know, that happened. But it's just sad
that we have to even walk like that. When I walk to my car, I always check my surroundings.
All the time.
I park so that I can go, you know, straight out this way. I don't have to do it in reverse.
Exactly.
I mean, these are the little things that you have to do now. And then when I get in my car, I only open it like with the key, just that one door.
Exactly.
It's so scary.
I know this lady was at the gas station the other night, and she I think it was a gas station on the mall, one of those. But she unlocked her door, but she unlocked both of them. And it was a homeless man just wanting money.
Yep.
And so he opens her door, her passenger door, and he's like, you know, can I have some money? Bowl.
Yes.
And of course she's terrified. Of
Yeah.
course she's gonna give him money. But it's like he just comes up and opens her door. So it's like, you know, women, you know, anybody, be mindful. Most security alarms, you know, you hit that button once, it's gonna unlock the driver door first.
Yep.
But if you hit it twice, it unlocks all the doors. So be mindful, just unlock your door.
Yep.
You know, it's funny, I used to give my wife a hard time about driving around, trying to find a parking spot.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but now it's like, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
I see why you want to park so close,
Yes.
right, to the door, because there's
Yes.
more people, you know, you have a better chance of being seen, but
Yeah.
I'll park at the back of the parking lot.
Yeah, completely.
I have that privilege to park at the back and just walk up there and not have to drive around, because I'm not concerned about somebody,
No worries.
you know, wanting to harm me or snatch me, you know, and so it's incredible, man. We live in you know, some interesting times, but I won't say that they picked up. I think they're just more exposed.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think that's the more, we have awareness now.
Yeah.
Bottom line, we
And I
do.
think that's the whole point of getting involved with
Yes.
this organization, is just the awareness.
Mhm.
Just be careful.
Yeah.
They're bold enough to steal that baby out of your arms.
Yeah.
Don't go to Walmart with the kids.
There you go.
Okay.
Bottom line.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Yeah.
If somebody comes up to you and is in the car,
Mhm.
there's a couple of little things that, you know, I read about whatever
Yeah.
I can.
Right.
But if someone's in the car, you put your seatbelt on
Mhm.
and you just take off
Yeah.
and slam into the next thing, because your seatbelt's gonna save you.
Exactly.
They didn't get in
They
and put
didn't
their
strap
seatbelt
you. Yeah.
on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Slam into the next thing. You can always replace the car,
Yeah.
Exactly.
and they
Wow.
go flying, and then you get out and book
away.
it.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know, run in a zigzag if they have a gun. I
Yeah.
mean, there's just little things that you can do. Just be mindful,
Mhm.
especially if there's a big white van. They're buying these vans now.
Mhm.
They're investing in their company
Mhm.
and buying these vans that lock on the outside.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're taking it apart and
Yep.
changing the lock so it
Wow.
locks on the outside.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Did you see that video where they found that van?
Oh my gosh.
And it was like reinforced with like this box on the inside, and they had like some type of
Contraption where you look like somebody gets ejected or something.
man.
It was sad.
It was for human trafficking.
Like
And then-
clearly.
So they closed the door. Like, can you hear me scream? And
Can't even
couldn't
hear
anything. It was so
Can
scary.
you imagine? These were grown women who were like, "Here, see if you hear me scream."
Yeah, it's just a group of women, like, you know, going through this van and showing you all this stuff that they, you know, found.
Yeah.
I guess it was abandoned or something like that. But you talking about horrifying.
Yeah, I mean, you see that stuff on movies, and it's like, but then it's like, this is real
It's
life.
real.
Like,
Ugh.
you know, like, that it's been around.
Yeah.
But I think whenever, because the population, especially in this country, I don't think it gets smarter.
Right.
So we're more
It's
apt to
purposeful.
follow trends.
Yeah.
And it's like, even with the rise of, you know, the white supremacy, you know,
Mhm.
with these young boys being like scared, like, yeah, they're trying to take us out or something. So
Exactly.
now they want to join these groups and stuff.
Mhm.
I think it's, with the human trafficking, you have people sitting there and they hear the number, they're like, what, you can make this much?
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
it seems like because of capitalism
Yeah.
and now, you know, information,
Yeah.
now people like, wow. Especially if you feel like there's nothing going on in your life.
True.
And if you do have apathy for human life, where you're just
Yeah,
sitting there
just-
like,
pure
I
apathy.
think that's just what really messes me up.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Like, no matter the dollar amount, they are really,
Yeah.
it's a person.
a person.
It's a whole person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
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 I mean,
You know-
they don't care.
People were up in arms over, Vic fighting
Ugh.
dogs,
Dogs.
and everybody was just all about these dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, jeez.
I'm not saying that I'm not trying to get into no fights here,
Yeah, of
but
course.
it's a dog.
It's
Yeah.
enough.
We're talking about humans
Yeah.
and young girls
Yes.
and boys.
Yes.
Totally agree.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I love dogs. I'll be the first one to say, you know, we've always loved dogs.
Love dogs.
Yes.
And at the same time, at least, the way you care about that dog, if you care about all of human life,
Yes.
that same way,
Yes.
then I could see you caring that much about that.
But if you look at like nonprofit donations,
Oh,
yearly, the animal organizations, they receive some of the most funding,
Wow.
especially in this country. But and I remember hearing those numbers, and I was just like,
Yeah.
what?
yeah.
Like, what is going on, right? But you see, for whatever it is, for whatever reason, you know, the majority of the population, they love these animals so much,
Yeah.
and you literally see like a struggle. It's a struggle between who you care more about, right?
Yeah.
These animals or these humans, right? But a lot of people feel that it's the way that we're socialized to believe that a lot of people believe that, well, you're in that position because you put yourself there.
Mm-hmm.
These animals have no control over,
Yeah.
you know, their condition or what have you. So it's a sick mindset.
It
It
is.
truly is.
It
It's a
is.
sick mindset, and psychologically, I'm sure we can bring our Dr.
Yes.
LaFarie back on, and she can probably explain that a little more as
Yeah.
to why there's a lot more compassion for these animals
Yeah.
than there are for humans. And so,
And then, but that's just, and to me, that's sad.
oh, extremely.
It's just sad.
Extremely.
I think there just, not only should there be just more awareness of this, but just how to put an end to it. Like,
Come on
how do we find a way to punish them a little bit more?
Yeah.
Maybe
Seriously.
detour
Yes. Yeah.
them a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um,
I would be all in favor for life or the death penalty.
yeah,
I mean, because that's if you take my child,
yeah,
there's nothing that's gonna stop me.
No.
yeah,
Nothing on this earth that's gonna stop me from. I'm like Liam Neeson in Taken.
There you go.
I'm
I
on
won't
the
find
hunt,
you.
yeah,
and I
Yeah.
won't stop.
No.
Yeah.
I won't stop. And again, it doesn't just ruin that child's life, the parents'
forever.
lives, you know, the siblings' lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everybody is scarred, and there's a void that can never be filled again, and for some money.
yeah.
Mm.
I think they prey on the most vulnerable.
Of
ones.
course.
And that's why 88% of the children who are going through this have come through the foster system or
Wow.
CPS or something like that.
They don't
So,
have a support system.
It's a ring.
Yeah.
So who are they gonna tell?
The bottom line, nobody's looking
And
for
not
you.
only who are they gonna tell, but now who's gonna care?
Bottom line. Yep.
And if they could feel in the foster system that they actually cared about them,
Yeah.
maybe we could start fixing it, starting
Ah,
there,
I like that.
you
I
know?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways and
Mhm.
angles to approach this and
Yeah.
how to fix it.
Yes. 88%.
88%.
That's a staggering.
And then
statistic.
a lot of them, LGBTQ, you know, because their parents,
Yeah.
oh, you're gay, so now you
Get
have
out.
to get out of my
Exactly.
house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So now
Out
they
on the
have,
streets.
now they're on the streets, they have nowhere to go.
Exactly.
And now,
That's terrible.
you know, the different approaches and the different ways that they get someone to get in your car, you wanna see a dog, you know, it's,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like you said, I mean, they're preying on the most vulnerable. You
Yeah.
know, it's interesting because Dwayne Wade,
Mm.
you know, his son, he said when his son was 3, he and his wife at the time, they noticed like he was different.
Mhm.
He wasn't like, you know, like this masculine boy like his
Yeah.
oldest son. And so he noticed like at that time, and I guess he and his wife, they talked about it, and I guess they started to kind of just accept the fact that, you know, that,
Yeah.
you know, he would, you know, I guess he liked girl things and
Yeah.
quote traditional girl things or what have you, and then he's you know, he's a homosexual, what have you, and you know, it's sickening to see the number of people who want him to reject his son
Yes.
and not allow his son to live in just who he is.
Yes.
You know, and they're like, oh, he's too young to know and this and that, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And it's like, but if you just take your hands off the wheel and let him figure it out,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
then that's where he's going.
And thank you.
You know what I mean? So it's like, so you're telling him to control him and
Yeah.
tell him who he is, right? And if that's what you decide to do with your kids, by all means.
Yes.
You know, that's your business. But how do you come at a father for accepting his son?
How?
Yeah.
Simply because he loves differently
Yes.
than you do. I don't get that.
How
I
about
don't
this?
get it either.
It's
Yeah,
just,
but people will sit here
uh-huh.
and, you know, especially a dad, they'll sit there and their son, you know, they might have some toys and they say, man, he always wants that football.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna be a football player.
There you go.
Right?
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Man,
You accept that.
When you get
Yeah.
6 years old, man, I knew he was gonna play.
Yes.
But now, you know, because this boy, he
Mhm.
likes these traditionally girl things.
Right.
Now all of a sudden, he's too young to know.
Exactly. Great point.
I
Yeah.
thought it was, you know.
Come on now.
That's good. All
Right.
right. Preach, preacher.
Hey, there we go.
No, but it's the
You know?
hypocrisy. It's just, you know,
Yeah.
people always want to change things to fit their own narrative.
Yeah.
And like I've been saying, you know, recently a lot is people try to add so much complexity to things that should be simple.
Yeah.
There should be so much
Come on now.
simplicity to
Yes.
the way we live life. Human,
Yes.
human.
I know, right?
You know,
I mean,
treat
and
you with
again-
respect.
Gay
Yes.
marriage and LGBTQ rights, these things should never,
No,
ever be up for political discussion.
no.
Ever. We're talking
How?
about human rights.
How in the world?
Like, why? But those are distractions.
Yes, they
Flat
are.
out. From, you know, you don't have an opportunity to focus on what truly matters.
Yeah.
And again, we go into, you know, telling women what to do with their bodies as far as abortion and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But it's all men in the room voting on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Just crazy.
Just
Like, it's-
craziness. It's,
Yeah.
There's so much that should be so obvious.
Oh my gosh.
And then we're just walking around just,
We just accept it. You know,
Yeah.
most of us, we accept it like, well, these are the smartest and the brightest, and
Yeah.
but are they though?
they're not. We're
Because-
just a sycophantic culture. Bottom
Yeah.
line,
And
we're-
people think that if they are into politics and they understand politics, that they're smart. But really, politics is nothing but another language.
That's all that
That's
is.
all it is.
Yeah.
It is another language.
Yeah.
You can talk it all day,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that you're so much smarter, because what you're doing is essentially telling people how you're going to spend their money.
Yes, that's
how it
it.
comes down.
That's
what it
literally
comes down
what
to.
it's coming
How
down
we're
to.
going to control you.
Yeah.
That's what politics comes down to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how are you going to sit here and say, all right, yeah, actually you can love this person, this natural human thing that you do.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
No, you can't love this person. Like, it's ridiculous. But with the agency, I mean, you found them. It seems like fairly easy through this connection and your prayer. How can people get involved with things like this?
Yeah.
Well, they can. We're doing like a drive right now, and so we've got blankets for them, and
Oh.
we've got. We actually have engraved Bibles
Yes.
for them, all pink Bibles for them.
Ah.
They can go to my website. It's I have under my charity, and I have adopted this organization just indefinitely.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
this is not going to be just like a
Oh,
you know
wow.
just here,
season.
just you know.
Season, yeah.
My sister nominated that charity
Mm.
for a golf tournament, you know,
Oh,
whatever,
okay.
at her job.
Right.
They still have to bid on it and
Mhm,
whatever,
right.
but you know, they'll any monetary gifts.
Yeah.
That's what you said,
Yes,
monetary?
absolutely.
Any monetary gifts go to their website,
Okay.
and
What's the website?
Streetlight USA
Streetlight USA.
is theirs, and you can find me at thebossnanny.com.
The Boss Name.
Boss,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
It was funny because I was just watching Boss Baby with my son.
I mean, in mine, they want to watch it every day, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a brilliant movie.
Oh,
actually.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Oh
I
my
mean, it
god.
gives you that perspective, and it's funny because I know they kind of got that from like Family Guy.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's
Seriously.
silly because you know the mom never knows what he's saying, but
Never.
it's like, really, like what's going? And then you go back to Look Who's Talking.
Yeah.
That movie,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Oh my god.
But no, great conversation.
Yes.
It was very good to, you know, touch on that
Yeah.
human trafficking again. Obviously, I think we should all be in unison on the fact that it's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now, man.
I think, and
Yeah.
I just hope that more talking about it, spreading more information. You had great numbers on
Yeah.
on the topic itself.
I mean, again, 150 billion. I never knew that.
Sickening.
It's disgusting.
Oh my goodness.
And like, you just have these, you know, you never know who's around you.
Yeah.
You know,
And there's obviously males.
Come on, man.
Right?
Yeah.
It's, but, you know, with that being said, you know, we touched on thebossnanny.com,
TheBossNanny.com.
and then that organization is streetlight.com.
Streetlight USA.
StreetlightUSA.com.
I believe it's .com or .org.
Or .org.
Or .org.
Either
You'll
or.
find it.
We'll
Right.
double check
It'll
that.
find
Yeah,
it.
you'll
We'll double
find
check
it.
that.
Uh-huh.
And but yeah, with that being said, great conversation. Thank
Yes.
you for
Thank
joining
you so
us.
much for having
Thank you.
me.
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Yes.
Thank
All
you.
right. And with that being said, thank you all for continuing to support and watch.
Yes.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.